Hey, what is up, people? It is your boy Johnny, and today's video we are going to attempt to remove the shell on this Nintendo Switch old version. This is the OG Switch. This is not the OLED version, and we're going to replace it with the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet edition from the OLED. So basically, this is kind of like a replica of the shell that's included in the Nintendo Switch OLED. Now, I don't have the Nintendo Switch OLED to show you a comparison, but it looks pretty darn close. I'll probably look at some pictures of before and after to actually compare the two of them. Obviously, the design is completely different on the shell from the OLED. It's not exactly the same thing. So, yeah, I got this on AliExpress. Believe it or not, they have a lot of customization options for Nintendo Switches, especially the OGs and the lights. I haven't seen a lot of customizations for the Nintendo Switches for the OLED for some reason. I have seen a couple of shells, but not that many on there, surprisingly. So you get your actual shell here that it doesn't look too bad. Like, let's go ahead and open it. They actually bring it in pretty good protective um, casing. It doesn't look too bad. It almost looks like the original, to be honest. Some stuff you do have to transfer from the previous shell, so we're gonna have to transfer some stuff. And I don't really like how they did pack it up, but it definitely protects everything that's included. So as you guys can see, man, it doesn't look too bad at all. Like, it looks really nice. If you see the colors, let me take it out of this though. That way you guys can get a better look on how it actually looks. Oops, I'm gonna break this thing. All right, sorry. One of the pieces fell off, which is the stand. I actually feel like it kind of feels kind of like the original, somewhat. I don't even know what the original one feels, but it's kind of textured. So that's not a bad thing at all. But I don't know how that's gonna affect my temperatures. I don't know if the original one is kind of textured. If somebody has the OLED one, they would probably show me or let me know in the comment section. But other than that, it looks pretty good and high quality. For the most part, it's a high quality shell. It doesn't feel cheap or anything. Actually feels like the original. On the back it does too as well. As you guys can see, it does look pretty cool. We'll see how long it lasts. If it'll be scratch resistant, which I highly doubt it. But either way, I take care of my switches, so it doesn't matter. That's not the only thing they have for sale. They also have the Joycon shells. Now these actually seem a little bit more high quality, believe it or not. They feel like original shells. They don't feel different. And they actually kind of look like exactly like the real shells, kind of. It just feels really great on the hand. So they don't really bring any special type of buttons, only a couple of them, which is the SR and the other side, I think LR. I'm not sure, I don't remember what those buttons go. I think they go here on the railing. They bring those buttons, but yeah, the shells feel really better. I'm actually impressed. Now, you don't get any screws out of it, so if you're looking for missing screws, you might want to buy them somewhere else if you're missing any of your old Nintendo screws to do that. So the first thing I'm going to replace is going to be the shell, because it's probably gonna be the easiest thing that we can do. And all you really need is a Y screw, which is common in Nintendo consoles, and a Phillips head screw, about this size, the small ones. Usually you can get kits or stuff like that. You can look them up online. Nintendo Switch screwdrivers, look them up on eBay, Amazon, whatever. They all have them everywhere. So yeah, the Y one is my blue one, and the Philips is this one. So let's go ahead and take it apart. It doesn't really take that long to take it apart, unless your screws are kind of messed up, which I think mine are. Alright, I think this one, I don't know, I don't even know if that's the Y one. Let's try this one. No, that is the Y one. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. Sometimes you just have to take out the middle one from the sides. You don't have to remove the other one. Don't know why they didn't work with my other one. I think the Y one I have kind of, you know, I used it so much on other stuff that it probably the tip of the point messed up on it. So it's probably not that good anymore. We'll attempt it one more time, and if it doesn't work, I'm probably gonna stop the video and switch over to another screwdriver. So as you guys can see, the ones I'm taking on the bottom, on the side of the rails, not really that hard. As you guys can see, they're pretty simple. They can be kind of annoying. Sometimes they can get lost if you're not too careful. This one didn't have a bad shell, to be honest. I don't even know why I'm replacing it. The shell's actually in pretty good condition. It did have scratches though. Okay, that sums up pretty much all of it, except this one from the micro SD card is one of the ones that you're gonna want to take out. So make sure to take that one out. Thank God they made the shell easy, but I cannot say the same thing for the Joycons. It's gonna be really difficult. I've seen videos. I've never actually switched out a shell, but I do need to learn because I have a ton of Joycons that are like really messed up right now. They just have drift to the max. They suck. All right, so that one is a bad screwdriver that I have at the moment. I will be stopping the video for now and switching over to the correct screwdriver. All right, so I managed to find a appropriate screw for the Y screws on the back of this Nintendo Switch. I have to say, don't cheap out on your screws, drivers, because it can mess up your Y screws, and you don't want to do that. You can strip them, and then it'll just make everything harder. I have stripped a couple of Y screws before, and it's a pain in the ass to take off for the most part. Sometimes you even have to like break the shell and then use a plier to actually take them out. So get something that's right size for it, or something good, or a unique brand that's recommended. Even though I cheaped out on it. You don't have to though. However, this one kind of worked really well. Just don't want to go ahead and strip the screws. That's why I recommend replacing the whole screws if you haven't, especially if you have old switches. But if you never opened it before, you should be fine for the most part. But I always hate these screws on the Nintendo Switch. Some people may not, but I personally do. For some reason, I always strip them somehow. Alright, so after doing that, make sure to double check everything that you took out. You should be good. For the most part, yeah. Why isn't it coming off? Did I miss a screw? No, I didn't miss a screw. Check how dusty that is. These Nintendo Switches get really dusty. Obviously, I didn't buy this one new. I actually bought this pre-owned, and I don't know if that's dust or hairs. I think somebody's been in this one inside. I don't know. Hairs somehow get in there. Kind of nasty. But either way, that pretty much sums up the disassembly. We actually have to go back to this one, believe it or not. we actually have to take parts away from this one and transfer them over to this one. So I'm kind of disappointed in that part because they didn't include every single thing. Not a big deal, but still would have been nice if they would have included everything. Basically, you gotta take this off, and you gotta take this one off as well. But first, remove this from here, like these two little screws right there. Now, I'm not trying to be like the best tutorial or anything. I'm just doing the process for fun, just to show you guys this shell. It's not like I'm a professional disassembler, repairman, or whatever. I'm just doing it for fun. Let's be real. I'm not good at this. Matter of fact, I am a rookie. Alright. You don't have to actually take out the middle one, apparently. And I'm probably going to keep it. Probably going to wash the shell. You never know. This one might break. I mean, it doesn't really look that different. It does look nice, but, you know, I kind of expected the quality to be a little bit more like this type of material. Maybe it's just this one. I don't even think the OLED one is like this. The OLED one has to be more sharper. I'll do comparisons at the end. But anyways, that's basically all you have to do. And not really all basically you have to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this one back in. Or how is this gonna work? Actually, I think we do have to take something else out of this one. We do have to take that thing in the middle out of this one as well. Yeah, so okay, it uses a Y one. Alright, so it uses a Y1. We actually had to take that out, and we had to transfer it over to the new shell. Alright, so I seen somebody else do a video on this, and basically what they did was with this little assembly piece that comes with it, they attached the metal bracket to it, and that's pretty much all they did. And then they placed it in here as well, as you guys can see. Let me focus in on that. So as you guys can see, they screwed the two screws there. So I think I was struggling for no reason. It's really not necessary to do anything other than that. They did, however, mention not to screw it in too tight when you put in the other part, because it's going to probably cause issues, and that's probably what caused my issues, to be honest. So I messed up in that part of the video. So let's see. Sorry, my tripod is no good. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is attach this into the back. And basically, all I have to do is get it as much as I can into this little middle thing. If you're gonna see it, get it as much as you can to that middle thing. And you should be fine for the most part. So that actually looks pretty good how I just did it. Alright, then you're gonna want to put in the screw that it came with, the tri-wing. Some of these shells already bring this, so I don't understand why this one didn't bring it. But believe it or not, some of the shells already bring this. So I was a little bit disappointed with this shell that it didn't actually bring that little tri-wing stuff already connected. As he mentioned, don't go as tight as you can, because if you go too tight, you're gonna probably mess it up. So just go as much as you can. We'll leave it at there. Alright, so that looks good. This one's actually pretty easy. This is the cartridge slot. All you have to do is really line it up right there, and it lines up pretty easy, so you're not gonna have any trouble. And then as you guys can see, the other one lined up pretty well as well. Put the original screws, which is similar to this one. Once you put that screw in there, you should be set to go. There we go. So yeah, that looks fine. And then what you want to do is go ahead and attach the shell back. As you guys can see, yeah, it kind of looks pretty decent. Everything fits in fine with the shell. It does feel kind of rubberized. It's kind of like what I wanted to mention. It does feel rubberized, the shell, but doesn't feel bad at all. Probably need to do some cleaning on this switch, but it feels good for the most part. Alright, so this is where I was a little bit concerned. Why wasn't it opening? I don't know. This was, yeah, this is what I understand. Like, I feel like they made a wrong design or something with this. Because this is supposed to open. I'm gonna compare mine. No, they're about the same. The whole thing is supposed to open. Okay, so it is working. You just gotta get it to open a little bit. I don't know why. I guess because it's a new case, it kind of takes a while for it to open, but that is not a big deal. Let's put the screws back. You can choose whatever screw you want to put back. I'm gonna start off with the Y, or the triangle, or whatever they call it, the tri-wings, because it's probably the easiest ones to put back in. They're easily recognizable, so I always like putting those back in first. Your personal choice though, it doesn't really matter. They're pretty easy to identify once you have like opened up the switch many times. But the tri-wings are the 4 screws that go on the corners. These are the ones that you don't want to strip, because next time if you got to change a battery or something, it can be a pain in the ass. You might even have to end up literally breaking the shell and then using some pliers to get them out. I don't know why, but I don't really feel like the Nintendo Switch has like the best screws in a console. They intentionally did it. No, I'm kind of digging it now that it, even though it feels kind of rubberized, I'm kind of digging it. Kind of digging the looks of it so far. I haven't screwed everything back in, so this needs to go in a little bit harder. I don't know, maybe I'll get used to it, but as you guys can see, I kind of messed it up, but it's not because it's too hard inside, it's just that because it's brand new, I would assume. Now the Joy-Con part is going to be fun. Now to know the bigger screws, you can literally recognize them because this is the bigger ones that are on the Joy-Con rails. They're kind of easy to recognize. That's not farts in the background, guys. It's my squeaky chair, if you were wondering. Yeah, it's kind of hard recording with a tripod and then having to put everything back. Especially since these aren't magnetic. Yep, bigger screws. I feel like these are the biggest screws in here. I know the tri-wings are pretty big, but in terms of the smaller size screws, those are the biggest ones. And the next ones are the ones that go on the shell. These are kind of semi-big, not really. They're still pretty tiny, but they should fit right in. The smallest screw you took it out will be the one that goes in the micro SD card slot, which I'll show you. But let's put all of these back in first. Let's say it's a farting chair. Alright, that's already input. Alright, so everything actually is not making noise anymore. So once you put all the screws back, it should feel normal. And it looks nice. I kind of like it. So this is the one that I always had a trouble with, but you can open it. Why did I have trouble opening this one? Maybe I'm not opening it right. Feel like the cutout or the layout was, I don't even want to damage it. I mean, everything fits in well. That's just where it's not clicking really well for some reason. Maybe once I put the screw in, which is this tiny one that I was talking about. You can't really see it on camera, but it's the very, very tiny one that goes here. Maybe that will fix the issue. Either way, I was able to insert it pretty easily. Since I don't have a magnetic one, it went in pretty easy though. Not bad, not bad. Maybe I'll be able to. Alright, so it's still annoying, but it can be done. Alright, so I kind of screwed it up. Even, I don't know, these things has always been kind of annoying in my opinion. Even when I had the official Nintendo Switch, like, even with the official, even when it's already installed and everything, like, I had issues with these for some reason. I don't know why I'm having issues with it. Maybe I need to loosen it up a bit. I loosened it up a little bit more. See if it goes back in. It's annoying because it'll do. I guess it'll do. I did loosen it up. You probably just have to make sure not to, like, put it in too much. Might have to loosen it up a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more is more than likely. Well, now the thing just came out. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, we'll just let it be. We won't be messing with the SD card as much anyways. But either way, it does look nice than it did before. I do have the original one. If you're struggling with it, just put the original one back in. But either way, you can still leave it on. Just make sure to at least put your memory SD card in there. And if you want to use it as a try, well, I mean, just try to be careful with it. Or maybe it's not put too much in. Maybe I have to go in hard on it. Maybe this has to be all the way in. I don't know. This case should have brought its own mechanism already in place, but it is what it is. This is what you get for, I think it cost me around like 15 bucks. Alright, I think that kind of fixed it. Okay, so making it really tight actually helps. No, make sure it's kind of tight in there. So, yeah. Oh, fix my issues. Well, at least I got it to work. They kind of, I feel like I did kind of scratch up the sides of it, but it is what it is. It still doesn't look too bad. I actually like it now. Alright, now we're going to move on to the Joy-Cons. I'm probably going to fast forward a lot of this. Alright guys, let me jump in here for a little bit and let me explain to you that I am not going to actually be commentating or showing you guys on how to actually install the Joy-Con shell. You will be seeing the video of me installing it, but it's going to be a fast forward montage of different clips. Trust me, it took me over probably 3 hours. I'm not really good at installing this stuff, and it is really complicating if you're doing it for the first time. You gotta know where every ribbon goes, where every spring goes. There was a ribbon that really got on my nerves that I should have just left it on the motherboard and didn't disconnect it at all and continue with the installation, because you can leave some ribbon cables in the Joy-Con and continue installing the shell. And it was a pain in the ass to get that ribbon in the connector, and yeah, it literally wasted me like 3 hours just attempting to put that ribbon inside, and you'll probably see it in the montage. But anyways, I do recommend a bunch of tutorials out there if you guys are looking to install yourself one of these. But yeah, it's just I just did it for fun. Coming to a conclusion to the end of this video, I want to give my final thoughts and what I think about this shell. I have to say that the shell was kind of underwhelming. For some reason, they gave it a rubberized texture all around, so the shell feels rubberized for some reason. I do not understand why they did that. I understand it is a replica. The animation quality is pretty nice, how it's printed on the back, but it doesn't have that hard plastic feel that the original one has with the OEM one on the Nintendo Switch OLED. Or, matter of fact, the Nintendo Switch original's OEM shell that came with the OG doesn't feel like that in that sense of texture in the back. Now, however, some people may like the shell in the back where it does have that rubberized feel. So it can be a little bit more comfortable in the hands, but I also sometimes feel that it might get warmer. But it may just be me because it still has hard plastic inside. It's just for some reason the print on the outside is kind of like rubberized. Don't understand the meaning behind that or why they did that decision to make this shell like this. The thing that really did impress me were the Joy-Cons. And I have to say the Joy-Con shell kind of looks like an original OEM Joy-Con. I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference if I ordered this Joy-Con online and it was a replica. Just the shell taken off from a probably a used Joy-Con. It really is high quality. I mean, it you really can't tell the difference. They literally mastered it when it comes to making replica Joy-Cons in terms of the design. I also put some pictures at the end of the video where I do a comparison between the real one and the replica one. So you guys can make a comparison. Now, I didn't expect a lot of quality for the outer shell on the console because, I mean, this is something from AliExpress. Sometimes their items come good, sometimes they come bad. So I wasn't expecting much. I did get it from AliExpress. They have like several different shells. They even have custom ones that are from anime such as Dragon Ball Z that I've never seen on another Nintendo Switch ever. I might want to install those onto another Nintendo Switch in the future for one of the OG Switches. But overall, they also do sell the straps as well if you want the Joy-Con straps. I thought they were included with the order I made on AliExpress, but it turns out that you had to order them separately. So that even makes the Joy-Con even more realistic, like the original one. So they can even give you the Joy-Con straps colors. um I did see some docks. Some people have some docks where they just put a plate over their existing dock and it makes it look like it's a Scarlet and Violet one. It's a little bit more generic the way they do it though. It's not kind of like the original one though. So the original one definitely still wins in that department. um so yeah, overall, I am still pretty impressed. I think it was a decent buy. I mean, it kind of made my old Switch customizable, so I kind of like it. So I'm digging it. It's not too bad, despite the rubberized feel on the outer shell. I think it's still pretty decent. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video, and have a nice day.